Good afternoon, everyone. Please settle down as I've been requesting everyone. Networking can happen later. So it's a real privilege for me to introduce someone I deeply respect, not just for the scale of what he has built, but for the ways he has done it. Mr. Murali has led Shriram Properties with a steady hand for decades. When we talk about credibility in Indian real estate, his name always comes up first. He has seen cycles, challenges, and opportunities the most of us only read about. And yet, he has always kept growth and integrity at the center. What I value most is that he doesn't just talk about building or balance sheets. He talks about responsibility, about people, about the future of this industry should look like. And that's exactly the kind of perspective we need in this particular room today. It's an honor for me on behalf of RealtyNXT and India Proptech Demo Day to welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Murali, Chairman of Shriram Properties.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, nice to hear this. I was worried post-lunch what could happen. I was thinking, maybe I should start with a small story to keep you all awake. Then since you all said you are all alert, maybe I'll skip the story. Maybe instead of hearing third-party story, we can hear our own story. Our own story is always interesting rather than hearing some third-party story. Particularly post-lunch, will be good to hear generally other stories. After Mahabharata, when Krishna wanted to leave this place, this soil, this earth, he never left, virtually. He has been there with us. But he thought all of us should be carried away. Reverse is happening today in the world. When every country is sinking, India is prospering phenomenally well. It's not the story of India, it is a story of every Indian. The opportunity lies only for India for the next 10 years. We don't know how long, but definitely next 10 years, the opportunity lies for India. If you look at the global space, what India as a country is doing, what other nations are doing. Powerful nations like some of the countries like Germany, UK, France. You remember during my school days, they used to talk about 5 major power. Germany, Russia, UK, US and China. Today, out of these 5, 3 were in the last 5-7 years ago, they went down quite a lot. China prospered well, but COVID has hit them badly than anybody else. See, when we always think about the hit on the business or hit on the reputation. Hit on the business, you can always recover. Hit on the reputation will take much longer period or you may not be able to recover at all. China took a big hit because of the COVID on their reputation. The world started distrusting. US, we got a great president now doing whatever best possible for India to grow. So India, we have got fortunate to have the fantastic leadership today. Everything happens for good. Last 10 years, he has shown the way. And next 10 years, it is going to be something phenomenal. So it is a story. I am seeing average age here is not more than 35. If my guess is right. Doesn't seem to be beyond 35, maybe 30 to 35. Post-lunch story belong to the people who are here. Let's look at India GDP size. We all know that currently 4th and soon will become 3rd largest economy. Today it's about 4 trillion economy. By 2030, plus minus 1 year, India will be 10 trillion economy, which we are all fully convinced. I don't see any external changes also is going to impact the position where we are in today. But let's look at what is a real estate contribution to this. Real estate contribution is roughly about 7-8% of this GDP today, which is very, very insignificant. In real estate, we should try to compare, not like France or Germany or I don't know whether Russia can be compared, but we must compare with China, what they achieved in the last 20-30 years time. Large country, huge population, focused on urbanization, they solved quite a lot of problems. But we need to look at today, their real estate contribution is close to about 25 to 28% of their GDP. China has a good 18 to 20 trillion economy, out of which about 25% plus coming out of real estate. Real estate is a contributor. On the other hand, in India, it's just 7-8% today of the current GDP, but will not be the same, need not be the same for the next 5 years when India hits 10 trillion. My conservative estimate will be about 12 to 13% will be the contribution, which means currently out of 4 trillion economy, which has got just 7-8%, which is roughly about $350 billion contribution. When it hits 10, when you reach 13%, which will be about 1.3 trillion, which is about in the next 5 years, real estate contribution or real estate growth could be 5 times of whatever the current position, which means 100% plus growth year on year. While the country can grow at 8% or 7% or 9%, this industry will grow 100% year on year. That's a potential. Just not 5 years. We need to also look at, we have got a great visionary leader talking about Viksit Bharat by 2047 when country reaches 100 years of independence, which will also certainty, which will also happen. But what happens to the world, what happens to the country is one. What happens to us is another most important one. When we say us, these industry leaders, people who are in this industry, when it becomes Viksit Bharat by 2047, it is going to have a 30 trillion plus economy. That's the size. I'm not aiming at 25% contribution like China, what they have done. US has got about 28 to 30% is the contribution. At least we'll hit about 18-20% contribution. Imagine at 18-20% contribution on 30 trillion is roughly about 12 trillion economy or 10 trillion real estate alone from just 200 to 250 billion dollar. That's the growth for which none of us need to do anything. We need to just accept this is what is happening in front of us, in front of our eyes. As I said, the average age is about 30 to 35, 22 years will fly like this. You will all still be young because Brain, right? The new age king. Brain or I'm just checking you are all alert. David Sinclair and Brain, they have been doing a lot of research. If the same way we continue, whatever the laziness with which we continue to keep up ourselves, we can comfortably live at 120. That's what he says. If you can be a little more conscious, another 10 years is extendable. This is what they are saying. So that's where the science is moving. We don't need to contribute anything to this, but if we can keep ourselves a little more fitter, we can live a healthy life, which means if India becomes superpower by 2047, when it hits 30 trillion economy, or in the next 5 years we hit a 10 trillion economy, if the real estate industry people, if they keep themselves little fit, lazy people can reach 5 times growth, fitter people can reach much larger growth. Okay, that's understood. You don't need to be a Chanakya to understand this. I'm putting together the facts. I'm not a creator of any of this. I'm just presenting the facts. RealtyNXT, Kritika Rawat and her team, putting together a fantastic show. Congratulations to her and her colleagues in making this happen. This is a second edition, phenomenal one. Please continue this journey. Let's understand the Proptech contribution to the real estate. When it becomes on 10 trillion, 13%, which is about 1.3 trillion, the penetration of Proptech is less than 1% today. Hence, this day is going to be very, very crucial what Kritika and her team is doing. Most critical. If you look at India on automobile, the tech penetration is at least I would say 30-40%. Textile, the tech penetration. I'm only picking up the sectors which are hot to crack. I'm not getting into simple e-commerce, travel booking or food delivery and all that. Easy to pick up. They are all aggregators. They are not tech providers. It's all aggregators. Let us understand the difference. They are addressing the problems prevailing in the society on laziness, not on productivity. there is a big difference. Real estate is one industry, if we can work very well on the tech, it can address the problems in the society. There is a big difference. And it can address the problem. I'm very fit. I always check my, who page. Who page is showing me about 6 years younger to my current age. My target is in the next 24 months time, can I look 10 years younger according to Whoop assessment. Mentally, I may be looking 20 years younger to my age. But according to Whoop, at least I should move to 10 years. What all we need to do to make sure that we become the solution provider for the problems which are there in the society, not just being aggregator. Currently, the tech penetration in the difficult industries like automobile, textile, including agri, which is largely served by the people who are not so-called college educated, but the tech penetration is so deep on real estate or home building or construction, not even 1% today in India. If you look at the scope, when we hit 1.2 trillion contribution to the GDP in the next 5 years' time, tech penetration from 1%, if it becomes 10%, look at the potential. It's a huge potential is ahead of us. Hence, when Kritika asked us whether I can come and speak, I immediately said yes, because this is the platform which is needed to channelize the sources to the right way to reach the destination. Without tech, we may have a lot of difficulties. We may still reach, maybe instead of 13% contribution, we may end up at 10%, but we may not be able to provide solution. We may be still a lot of tech companies are doing aggregation of business, but we need to differentiate. In this industry, it is possible to differentiate. The moment we give solution to the problem, solution prevailing in the society, the growth engine can become much more efficient, much more faster. It's just not one man need to worry about it. The people who are sitting here, by addressing the Proptech related challenges and providing new solutions to this industry, maybe we can all play an important role in making sure that India becomes Viksit Bharat, not by 2047, even much before that. That's a possibility. I think all of us have the responsibility. It's not just the Prime Minister has a responsibility. It is just not few people in the government has the responsibility. We can keep complaining about potholes. What are we doing? Yes, it's a problem they have to address. We need to raise our raise our concerns, raise our views. But we should also do. We talked about it, sometime back, Swachh Bharat. Even today, some of the educated people not behaving proper on the road. So who is the one to be blamed? Is it the person who is educated misbehaving, or somebody who has propagated this? So we need to address, or we need to take responsibility. All of us have to play a role in making sure that India becomes Viksit Bharat, certainly by 2047. But if Proptech, Real Tech, if they take the bigger role, we can become much earlier and faster. But it's just not the solution for the country. It is also solution for your own self. You can grow very well. You can grow, phenomenally well, and you can also make lots of money. You can also push yourself a lot of growth. That's the opportunity individually for everyone is available. We should not be just scratching the surface. We should go deeper into it. I'm not getting into which are all the areas solution possible, because I strongly believe, again, it's a science. Can you guess again, since some of you are on a sleepy mode, I'm trying to keep all not to sleep. I'll ask one question, one more question, not one question. Can you estimate how many ideas normal human being generate on a daily basis? I'm not talking about AI, I'm talking about robots. Normal human being like us. Any guess? Normal human being every day gets 16,000 new ideas. 16,000 new ideas is what normal human being get. I will also ask another question. Do you know the layers of mind? Conscious, subconscious mind. How many layers? It's an easy question. I'm asking 1 plus 1 is 2. No idea? There are 7 layers, out of which 1 is subconscious, 6 are conscious layers. So many things we do not know. In our mind it gets formed. But 16,000 ideas getting formed. This is where Swami Vivekananda said, if you start implementing all the 16,000 ideas on daily basis, you will never reach anything in your life, you will die soon. He said, you pick up one idea in your entire lifetime, live with that, work for that, and you will reach 100% success. You don't need to look at anything else. So if you can pick up one idea, whatever you think you are good at it, and channelize all your energy, which means you are eliminating 15,999 ideas per day. It's not one idea every day. You take one idea and live with your lifetime, that's what he says. If we take 30 years of next actual, very progressive lifetime, 30 into 365 into whatever 24 hours into 60 minutes you can count. Somebody who's alert, who's not really slept, they can get an answer to this. 30 into 365 into 24 into 60. Can you give an answer? Even I don't know, so you don't need to feel sorry about it. But if you can put all that energy on one idea, behind that, again another twist I'll give you, which means you are eliminating 15,999 into 365 into 30 years. That many ideas ignore. You focus on one. If you cannot become a billionaire, if that idea does not become a $1 billion idea, ask me, I'll compensate you. That's the opportunity which is available today. But you need to be convinced. Plenty of opportunity possible. What we are doing, particularly on the mid-market and mid-premium segment, that is the nature of the game today. Next 20 years, I used to teach in IIM Bangalore some 20 years ago, in 2004 or 5, I don't remember, around that period. Somebody asked the question, some student asked the question, where do you see the housing demand in this country? When is it likely to taper down? I said maybe next 30 years time it is unlikely to taper down. Again, about 8 years ago, same IIM Bangalore, same campus, same classroom, new set of student. Question was the same. I asked the same question, where do you see the housing demand start coming down? I told him, unfortunately, I say same question somebody asked about 10, 12 years ago. The answer remains the same. Question also remains the same. So next 30 years, I don't see the demand coming down. That's the opportunity because the demography, the urbanization, more than everything else, aspirational customers, which is most important one. Customer are the most aspirational people today. I don't think you can meet their aspiration overnight because they have experienced in the last 10 years or 5 years or 12 years the usage of technology or the technology which came into their life, how they got adopted to it. They expect the same technology adoption. That's the change which people are looking at. Hence, here also there will be a urbanization, aspiration and the housing demand, which is going to be phenomenal. In fact, anybody reaches out to me with some tech solution for housing or real estate solution, I give a serious look at it. Whether it is going to be useful or not, I know out of 100, maybe 2 may be useful or 3 may be useful. But I don't want to miss. What you achieve is not important. What you miss to achieve is most important. That's very, very crucial. So I don't want to miss anything because that could be the game changer for the next 10 years of journey. Hence, Proptech, sustainability, a lot of changes which can be the big game changer. In fact, we recently introduced SPL-NXT app we introduced. We brought in all that customer services under one app. Everything is through this, whether it's legal documentation or everything, customer service, reporting, accounts, finance, everything under one app we have brought in. We have already started rolling out. Received a tremendous response from the customers. That's one side. On the other hand, the construction, whether we can bring down the scale of labor, because you get stuck with a lot of other things. So whether you can bring robotics into it, we have brought in a lot of robotics in plastering now. Some of the projects we use robots for plastering. So it's just not a soft skill, hardware also. Whether can you bring in a lot of changes into it. So it's a boundless opportunity. Growth is there, platform is there, ideas are there. How do we channelize our idea to give a solution to the society? Also, we serve ourselves, create ourselves more and more prosperous and also contribute to the prosperous community and making sure that serving our responsibility of contributing to India becoming Viksit Bharat. Wish you all the very best, guys. Wish you all the very best for all of you to become a $1 billion enterprise soon.